Greetings, officers. We're in quite a bind this time. The world's largest ruby has been stolen from the National Museum of Science. The morning began as it always did. A new crime, a new puzzle to solve. At first glance, you'd think it was just going to be the usual smash and grab case, the kind you've dealt with on many occasions. But after hearing the details from the case, it seems that this was not going to be just any ordinary case, and you're not sure what to think. The museum curator, Mr. Charles Levins, has left a statement regarding the events that happened last night.
Last night I locked up as I've always done. I don't need to worry that something will go missing. It never has. Our security is top of the line. Pressure sensors, an invisible laser field that is active 24 hours a day, and around-the-clock surveillance. We've spared no expense protecting our artifacts, along with the precautions taken for the gem itself. We also have security that monitors the cameras and roams the halls. Hector, our chief of security, was training a new officer last night. His name was Hobbs. So, even if he was preoccupied, there are plenty other officers available to watch and observe. If anyone sneezes in my exhibit, I know about it. The ruby was on loan from the Nigerian government, you see, and now they fear that they will never get it back. My reputation is ruined. The ruby was in its display. Never once was it removed in the entire duration of its stay with us. The gem is truly priceless, and the exhibit has been locked down. I don't know what we're going to do. It's almost as if the thief was already in the building when we closed last night. But that's impossible! My staff would have seen something. Anything. Please, help me return this irreplaceable ruby to its rightful owners.
Based on the account that Mr. Levins gave, there seems to be no logical explanation as to how someone could have broken into the museum last night and stolen the ruby. The mastermind behind this theft has proven to be subtle in his craft and skilled in his abilities. There's only one thief who matches the description of the events that transpired late last night: the White Fox. The White Fox is a famous cat burglar who's terrorized art exhibits and museums alike. He has operated under that name for years. His real name and whereabouts have never been discovered. The White Fox is notorious for breaking into the most secure locations without leaving a trace. His calling card? A small white fox figurine. The White Fox has been responsible for the theft of Vermeer paintings, a Picasso from Rotterdam, a priceless Paul Cézanne from Oxford, and a Van Gogh from Egypt. Now, it looks like he's acquired a ruby, the weight and size of a small dog. The odds are stacked against you, but you'll have to do what every great crime scene investigator does and look at the evidence. This time, the evidence is in your favor. The White Fox has left a note and very specific clues behind this time, not the usual calling card he normally does. It reads,
"Greetings! Your ruby is safe with me, but not for long. When you read this note, I will have listed it on an undisclosed black market site. And if you're too slow, you'll never see it again. You have 1 hour to discover the web address and my seller ID. If you can discover that, I will yield the ruby to you. If you can discover my identity as well, then I'll give up this charade entirely. Since no one seems to be of my caliber, I'm leaving you with a little help. I hope your friends will forgive me. It's just business. Best regards, the White Fox."
A lot is on the line with this case. You'll have to inspect the crime scene thoroughly and eliminate information that does not pertain to the case. Then you'll have to dust for prints. The White Fox has never left fingerprints before, but you're nothing less than thorough, right? You'll have to match the fingerprints and pair them with those of past crimes. Hopefully this can narrow down your search. Then, you'll have to examine the data left behind. He left a clue to identify the black market site that he'll be selling the ruby on. You'll have to eliminate the unnecessary data to find out where that is. Next, you'll have to examine the evidence. He must have left something behind that gives away his identity. Follow and connect every clue and key word. He's sure to slip up at some point. Then you'll need to run labs on any foreign substances found at the crime scene. Every strand of hair or piece of fiber discovered at the scene of the crime could break the case wide open. Find the key elements that stick out the most in this case and use them to identify the thief. Lastly, identify the perpetrator. You have gathered as much information as possible. Now, piece together the things that belong together. With all this information in hand, the last thing you will need to do is to find the black market site. Once you've discovered it, you will need to identify the White Fox's online seller number and close his shop for good. Can you discover the identity of this notorious thief, or will he get the best of you? Success! The White Fox has finally met his match. He was no match for your investigative team. The White Fox has been apprehended. The ruby has been returned to its rightful owners, and other art that he has stolen throughout the years was also returned. They couldn't have done it without you and your team. Failure! The White Fox has escaped, and with him the 4.5 kilo ruby. Unfortunately, no one was able to discover the location of the online market, and the ruby has been sold to the highest bidder. The ruby is now lost, along with other pieces of art that has been stolen by this clever fox.